I had always basically had, since I was a kid, a desire to do something in agriculture and grow something. And so I came into the wine industry more from the side of growing grapes than making wine. Now, I loved wine, and I had a father-in-law who had a wonderful cellar, and so I had an ability to experience lots of great wines. But wine wasn't part of my family or my growing up. But growing things was. And so I really came to it from the idea of having a small vineyard, selling the grapes to hopefully other wineries around the area. And so that was really how I came to it.
Why not? It is the beverage of the gods. And for me, being a child of the 60s and having grown up in a household where wine was not ubiquitous, but wine was around, I learned to drink wine before the legal age.
And I grew disillusioned during that time with the all-consuming aspect of American culture. And I decided that when I got out of the Navy, I didn't want to have a normal 9-to-5 American job that was intended simply to accumulate wealth. So I went looking for something more interesting, and I found wine. I spent 17 years selling it in various modes. And then I realized that what I really wanted to do was make it. So that's how I got into wine.
It just hit me like a bolt of lightning, basically, that, wow, wine, what an interesting thing. And I remember when it happened, and I had no aptitude whatsoever with wine. I didn't even like wine. I didn't know anything about wine.
And that's when I started getting into wine, just started drinking it. Started drinking jug wine. Then I moved on to varietal wines, better wines, and started getting enamored with it. And I thought, well, this is what I want to do. So one day I packed up my car and moved to the Napa Valley, and been in it ever since.
He engaged that young man in conversation, and they talked about winemaking and wine and traveling all around the world and all the wonderful people who are involved in the wine business. And David he said he felt like he just had a lightning bolt. That's what he wanted to do, and he could use his science, and he could use his more liberal self, and he could be involved with nature, and it just all came together for him.
I came out of the university and basically discovered during my first job and my first exploration of the real world, discovered that wine was something that fulfilled several different facets of what I think we as human beings need, and I specifically wanted. It provides a measure of creativity. It is both hedonistic and intellectual. It has a certain sense of even immortality. The last wine that I touch before I kick off will probably still be a very viable and interesting wine 30 to 40 years afterwards. So I think there are a lot of things, both from the appreciation standpoint, the aesthetics, and from the technical side.
I was having dinner in a restaurant in Boise. The chef who had been in Portland for a while, he knew that I was interested in Burgundies. He brought this bottle out in a paper bag, poured me a glass of white wine, and he said, "What do you think of this?" I tasted it, and tasted it, and tasted it, and it was a very confusing wine, wonderful wine, but very confusing, because I said, this tastes like you poured some Chablis, maybe some Pouligny Montrachet, white wines from several different parts of Burgundy.
Interesting.
Like poured them all together. Because it had the characteristics of all of them. And it was wonderful. And he pulled it out of the bag, and it was David Lett's first Chardonnay. first release. And I can't remember whether this was 72 or 73, but it was a very early release for him. And literally that bottle of wine changed my life.